Oh, okay. Friends, Romans, countrymen, welcome back to youtube.com/NisiPisa, the only YouTube channel that is run by me. That's not even true. I have a second channel. It's called Extra NisiPisa. That was a complete lie. Anyway, hello. Today we're going to do a chatting about product releases video. Like in my last version of this video, there is going to be a fair bit of cold tea because I can't talk about everything when it comes out because I'm not magic. But why don't we jump right in by revisiting something I discussed last time we made one of these videos, Haus Laboratories. If you're not familiar with Haus Laboratories, you must not have an internet connection. If you are familiar with Haus Labs, you know that it is Lady Gaga's makeup brand and incredibly controversial. Why? Because it is sold exclusively through Amazon, which people are upset about because Amazon is a terrible company, and two, because the makeup is quite expensive and a lot of people were really underwhelmed by the presentation of it at the pre-order in July. Some people said it looked a little bit like if Huda Beauty did a holiday collection. Those people were me. I'm people. I said that. And other people, specifically Lady Gaga fans, were seeking out anybody who had anything even halfway negative to say about the brand and just character assassinating them until they blocked them or deleted their Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say were doing that? I mean are doing it. It's happening right now. As an avid fan of Lady Gaga, I would just like to speak directly to the rabid Lady Gaga fans. I too love Stephanie with all of my little monster heart and soul, but here's what you need to do. Put your paws down, stream Art Pop and Joanne because they're underappreciated, and watch the Marry the Night music video until you feel better and you're not as angry, okay? If you need a refresher on what Haus Labs offers, they have a felt tip liquid eyeliner, a set of pencil lip liners, a set of lip glosses, and a set of liquid glittery eyeshadows called the Glam Attacks. You can really use them anywhere, but like I've mostly seen people using them as eyeshadows. I used to really not be a fan of liquid eyeshadows, but I'm very quickly coming around to that, pretty much entirely because of these three CoverGirl exhibitionist glitters. I really like these and they're really easy to use, which makes me think that I probably wouldn't hate the Glam Attacks if I bought them. Honestly, I don't really think I need any of the Glam Attacks. My favorite of the ones that were featured was probably Chained Ballerina, which is a really deep, beautiful, sparkling jet black. But I have this from CoverGirl. Here's what we're dealing with. Not as opaque, but it's not terrible. And if I want like a liquid glitter that's gonna give me a dark look, I can already use this one I have. I've said before in a video that I actively dislike lip liner, so those are completely off the table for me. The glosses, in true me fashion, have not been something I've been able to entirely write off. Specifically, this red one called Attitude, I think is really pretty. So essentially, I'm still pretty lukewarm about Haus Labs and don't intend to buy anything from them anytime soon. But I think it's been very fun seeing people get out of their comfort zone a little bit when they review these products, maybe doing something a little bit more editorial, a little bit more avant-garde. So, hey. If it's your boat, float in it. Now, from Haus Labs, we move into another territory where stans are lurking in the bushes, waiting to snap at my ankles. And that brand is Anastasia Beverly Hills. Anastasia Beverly Hills has recently released not one, not two, but three 25-pan bright, colorful eyeshadow palettes. The Norvina Pro Pigment Palettes Volumes 1 through 3. They were all released within essentially the past month or so, and they also began releasing essentially immediately after the Anastasia and Jackie Aina palette launched. Anastasia is not really a brand that releases things with this level of frequency. Is it because their palettes keep getting leaked and that's why they have to release things so quickly? Maybe. Some people are annoyed. They think it's a slight Jackie Aina that her palette wasn't given the proper amount of time to shine in the public spotlight before being overshadowed by these three new palettes. I think that's a valid point to make. Tensions are running very high about these eyeshadow palettes because you have people who are just staunchly anti-consumerist and they don't like seeing brands release things this quickly. People are saying that Anastasia is creeping into Colourpop territory with how frequently they're launching things. I think that's actually kind of a fair accusation to make. Honestly, Colourpop is in a league of its own in terms of how quickly it releases products, and Anastasia isn't quite that bad, but when you take into consideration the increased price per item from Anastasia, like I said, it's not a terrible comparison to make. In another camp of people, you have people that are die-hard fans of Anastasia and want to buy all of the palettes the brand puts out and are just sort of like playfully hoping the brand will stop because it's getting kind of expensive. Hey girl! Slow down. I want to be able to feed my children this month. And they're kidding, but only kind of. And then you have the group that I would like to issue a special spotlight to. I've taken to calling them the Norvinis. If you spend enough time on Twitter, you might be aware that a couple months ago, Anastasia Beverly Hills conducted a search for additions for their PR list. And it was open in a wonderful move to very small creators and small influencers, makeup artists and makeup enthusiasts. I think this was really great. I think it really leveled the playing field. It allowed people who were working very hard, but maybe not getting the recognition that they deserved, to really get some recognition from a huge power player in the beauty industry. It was also an incredible marketing ploy for Anastasia that, as someone who is in business school right now, I can definitely respect. I think a lot of really deserving people got what could be considered their first big break. Howeversies. This has resulted in the creation of the Norvinis, small influencers who got wonderfully selected for this list and now have become a sort of Knights Templar specifically for Norvina. If anybody says anything that is even kind of critical about Norvina or Anastasia or the products they release, you can bet the Norvinis will be there in full effect, getting upset and offended on behalf of Norvina about things that probably would not have bothered them if they weren't on the PR list. To the Norvinis, I'm very proud of you for getting selected for the PR list. I love Norvina, I love Anastasia, and I'm just speaking as a consumer and a content creator. It's nothing against you and your purple-haired queen. What do I think of the 3 Norvina palettes? I like them. I think they're pretty and they seem really fun, and I am generally a fan of Anastasia's eyeshadow formula, excluding the original Subculture formula, unfortunately. But I have a couple qualms. One, they're really expensive. Each of the palettes are $60. As far as I know now, there is no discounted bundle deal for all 3 palettes on the website, which I think would make sense, but it might just be because the third one just got released this week. The actual colorways of each palette, sort of almost brights palettes. Which one should you buy? And should you buy all 3? Probably not, because even if you're cool with spending $180 on eyeshadow at once, which you might be, I'm not you, I'm not your CPA, there is something to be said against buying 75 eyeshadows at the same time. That is a recipe for choice fatigue. You're not even going to be able to conceptualize all of the eyeshadow that you've just bought. So that leaves the question of which of these palettes am I allowed to get, Nisa? Here's the breakdown. If you don't already have a solid group of go-to purple and pink eyeshadows in your collection, I would recommend the Norvina Volume 1. If you don't have a solid collection of blue eyeshadows, or if you don't have a brights palette at all, I'd recommend the Norvina Volume 2. If you don't have a solid collection of earth tones or a solid collection of greens, or just no neutrals to play around with, I'd recommend the Norvina Volume 3. I definitely think the Norvina Volume 3 is my favorite. We're gonna swing over into Urban Decay. We had the Naked Reloaded, which I didn't like, the Naked Cherry, which I didn't like, and now we have the Naked Honey, which I'm neutral on. I don't know, maybe I just don't like the sort of greenish brown honey tone of the eyeshadows. Maybe I was thinking of honey like cartoon characters think of honey, bright ass yellow. There are some things from Urban Decay alongside this honey palette launch that I'm actually interested in. These 3 plumping lip glosses, there's a honey gloss, a cherry gloss, and a heat gloss for the Naked Heat palette. Y'all know that I'm a weird freak and I love painful plumping lip glosses. I don't know if Urban Decay can make a decent plumping lip gloss, but I'm definitely keen to find out, especially that heat gloss, that sort of like bronzy minute. Yes. And then something that a lot of people tagged me in is Urban Decay is releasing 3 scented shimmering body powders. A lot of people were like, oh my god, this is finally it. This is the replacement of the Urban Decay lickable body powders that you've been begging them to bring back. I don't think it is. It's not, because I don't think that these are edible. I think they are just scented. Nobody's supposed to lick them off you. If they do and they get sick, that's not Urban Decay's fault. That's your fault for engaging in premarital sex. Obviously kidding, as I explained in my assumptions video, everybody is allowed to hook up as much as they want because I am the virtuous lamb. I'm in a lifelong dry spell, so everyone else can hook up as much as they want and the scales remain balanced and we can all go to heaven. Will I buy one of these powders? Honestly, probably. Urban Decay might be getting some coin from me. very soon. I do kind of want to talk about holiday sets, not because there's any particular holiday set that I'm telling you not to buy, but I just want everybody to be aware of how tricky these things can be. And I'm not talking about like huge, like $150 sets. I'm talking about when like Sephora does the little tiny bundles of things that are like $5 to $10. I have taken advantage of those heavily in the past. I feel like half the gifts I've ever gotten for some of my female cousins and my stepsisters and my sister-in-law have been those little Sephora sets, and they've been pretty awesome. It's also really easy to just buy one for yourself too. It's $10 and you're being generous by buying something for someone else. So like, why wouldn't you deserve that? You know, why wouldn't you deserve that? That adds clutter. You don't actually want any of these little sets. It's just a random thing you're buying because you and your little capitalistic heart feel bad about spending your money entirely on someone else, which is so messed up because if you're buying someone like a Christmas or a Hanukkah present, you're probably also getting a gift from them. But then you're like, well, they might not get me something that I like, so I have to like soothe the balm that is not getting something I want by getting something I want preemptively. It's genius. It reminds me of when I was a child. I had this deal with my mom where whenever we were buying like a birthday present for a friend of mine, I would be allowed to get something too. It was called the birthday rule, and she swears up and down that we never agreed on it and that never happened. But I feel like I remember shaking hands with her in a Toys R Us in front of the Barbies. So checkmate, Denise, it happened. I was a kid and I couldn't deal with someone else getting a toy and me not getting a toy. I'm an adult now and I don't need to think about that because I can buy myself whatever I want whenever. When it's finally time to spend my money on someone else, I don't need to also use that as another opportunity to buy myself something. It's so easy to... Okay, can you not? It's so easy to fall into a trap of like greed and selfishness when the holiday sets are abounding and you can just like grab whatever you want for like no money basically. $20 isn't real money. Of course not. We're all rich, we're all wealthy. Okay, perfect. Yeah, $20 is not real money. So why not just throw something for yourself in your cart that you don't really want or need? I'm not accusing anybody of acting anyway. This is literally something that I do that I want to not do. Let's talk about the Melt Cosmetics Radioactive palette. This is an extended and palletified version of the Radioactive stack from Melt, which I've wanted to buy for like 5 years, but can never rationalize spending the money on. When I first saw this, I may have peed myself a little bit. It's fine, I'm a human being. Adults pee themselves all the time. Ask around. I thought this was absolutely gorgeous. And then I realized that these are not matte shadows. They are all sort of satiny shimmer shadows. Just because something is satin does not necessarily mean it can't have color payoff. Clearly there's some color payoff here because these swatches are on a very melanated arm, which gets me real hot and bothered as a person with melanin in their skin. Whenever I see something super colorful swatched on very fair skin, I'm like, okay, well, like, what does it look like on me? Whispers and imagination, exactly. I literally just said that I don't need to buy the Anastasia palettes because I have Bright's palettes already. I'm really tempted though. I don't know. We'll see. Is it time to get into controversy corner? I think so. Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star coming out with a collab. This is all we've got right now to work off of. I don't plan on buying this collab when it comes out because I don't buy from Jeffree Star Cosmetics and I have kind of mixed feelings about Shane Dawson and definitely feelings about Jeffree Star. On occasion, I will take off my WoCat and just forget that I know all the things that I know and I'll watch a Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson video. I like their dynamic. The handheld mirror. Who is out here buying $20 handheld mirrors? Why are you doing that? Maybe don't do it. Again, I'm not your CPA. You can do whatever you want. I just, like $20 for a hand mirror. Like, can't relate. Next up in Controversy Hour, we have this release from Dragon Beauty, the brand owned by lightning rod for controversy, Nikita Dragun. Every influencer I've seen talk about it talks about how pretty it is and how avant-garde it is, and every normal person I see talk about it is like, this is what my sleep paralysis demon looks like. This looks like Nikita is a pharaoh that just died and she's just been laid out on the embalming table. This is creepy. Didn't they like use honey as an agent in embalming bodies in ancient Egypt, or am I forgetting 6th grade ancient history? It looks like her face is covered in honey and she's like about to be preserved for 2,000 years until British explorers in the 20s open up her tomb and unleash some ancient evil on the world. That is the vibes that I'm getting from this. Like, vibe check, mummification. The actual palette is a 6-pan palette for the face that has 2 bronzers, 2 blushes, and 2 highlighters. I don't know, I feel like this would work for some people. I like that there's a very deep bronzer. I like that there's representation for the melanated, for the highly melanated, you know what I mean? I think the highlighters look really pretty and I love the blush colors. Oh, this is $45? That's like so much money. Let's move on. Last stop on the controversy train is with one of my absolute favorite people, my own little paraben herself, Kat Von D. Every time Kat Von D releases a product, an angel gets its wings. And by an angel, I mean an anti-vax idiot, and by its wings, I mean the courage to leave someone an essay-length comment on social media about vaccine injuries. Anti-Semitic and anti-vax rolled into one tattooed package. What more could we ask for from our makeup brand CEOs? And if I get one goddamn person who's like,
all CEOs of makeup brands are problematic, are you gonna cancel everyone?
Yeah, they probably are, but these are the ones I know about, Deborah. Anyway, Kat Von D is coming out with the Lolita Por Vida palette, which is a larger, embellished on version of the Lolita palette that came with absolutely no fanfare last year. Remember when she released this palette? Because her actual holiday palettes flopped so hard and so rough. It's very neutral with a little bit of purple. Shimmers, looks fine to me. I think if Morphe released this, people would be like losing their minds over it. But it's Kat Von D, so it's automatically ugly and not worth the price. Every time I go into a Sephora and there's absolutely goddamn no one in the Kat Von D aisle, I swear my hair grows a ½ inch just from sheer joy. I feel like I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? Oh, right. Thanks for the palette, Kat Von. Definitely the swastika tattoo on my husband's neck is not related to Nazism. Why would you even assume that? We're not Nazis. We're not Amigas, cheetahs, friends for life. You guys play an active role in the creation of these videos. You tag me in things that you want me to talk about. I do appreciate that. I appreciate the sentiment of it. Pretty much always it's kind of redundant because I also follow the same makeup accounts that all of you follow, so I see the things at the same time you see the things. This next thing is by far the thing I have been atted in and DM'd the most out of literally anything I have ever talked about. It is this. Fenty Beauty is putting out a set of glosses, including one thing that I thought I would never live to see. A darker shade of the Gloss Bomb.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
You play funny games, God. For 2 years at this point, since the very first launch of Fenty Beauty, I have been asking Robin, Rihanna, goddamn Fenty to release a darker shade of the Gloss Bomb. Here we are. I didn't even know how to react. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know who you are. The shade is called Hot Chocolate. It's dark brown, exactly what I asked for. I'm about to start Laura-Leeing, I swear to God. The set includes 5 glosses. Pretty Please, Fussy, Confetti, Hot Chocolate, and Cheeky. Here's why this launch seems great, but it's actually another example of Rihanna picking up all of my hopes and my dreams and then crumpling them up and throwing them off of the railing of her yacht. They would then, of course, land on the deck of her smaller yacht. She would then teleport down to the deck of smaller yacht because, as we all know, all rich people have the power to teleport, crumple them up even smaller and throw them over the railing of that second yacht. And before you accuse Rihanna of littering, they would immediately land in the mouth of one of Rihanna's personal pet tiger sharks, and that tiger shark would then swim to the bottom of the ocean where it would strap a drill to its snout, drill to the center of the earth, and spit my crumpled up hopes and dreams into the molten hot core of the earth where they would burn up immediately. That's what this is. She has the audacity to release this gloss in a set that costs $42. I'm overreacting, to be sure. I'm sorry I just omnisciented out at you guys. I want the hot chocolate gloss. I'll get over the taste of it, so I'm gonna buy it when it is a single. I'm not spending $42 for 4 other glosses that I don't even want when I could just wait and spend $18 on a full-size version of the one gloss that I do want. How dare she? Of course, when she gives me what I want, it's in a set. God. Why shouldn't this happen to me? You know, you look so dumb right now. Desperado. Oh, Monaco. A man is hot as hella. I'm not trying to go against you. Actually, I'm coming. I'm gonna get up out of here. You take me higher than I've ever been. Oh my God, you're too late to light my fire. You know what I've realized about myself in the past 5 minutes? I'm the Nikocado avocado of the beauty community. I gotta make some changes in my life. That's a real tear, by the way. I'm an actress. Where is my BAFTA? Like, I should at least be on the CW with this level of talent. This is ridiculous. Cast me in something. If Sailor J can do it, that's it. Is that all I wanted to talk about? Oh, Jesus Christ, we didn't talk about Colourpop. I don't have like a full calendar year to talk about Colourpop's recent releases. Colourpop has been whiling out for the past month or so. Number one, Colourpop is putting out a tinted moisturizer. Some people are annoyed because they don't think it makes sense for Colourpop to put out a lightweight, like summery makeup product at the outset of autumn. Honestly, I don't really agree with that criticism because I live in a very cold area. My skin gets very, very dry. So to me, it makes sense to account for some of that lost moisture with your complexion products. But again, I'm kind of out of my depth here. Take what I'm saying with a lot of salt grains because I don't really know anything about complexion makeup. They're releasing another palette in collaboration with Kathleen Lights called the So Jaded palette that I think is actually very pretty. We've got silver representation, which you know that I love. We've got some jewel tones here. I wish they'd stop putting these chonky glitters in these palettes. Colourpop, why? Someone's gonna lose a cornea because of this. Like, stop it. A little peach palette.
A little peachy palette
is fine. I don't know. I have too much melanin in my skin to own an eyeshadow palette that looks like this. If you love really soft peachy looks, I think you might actually really like this. Colourpop is also putting out a second purple palette, sort of a spiritual successor to the It's My Pleasure palette, called the Lilac You a Lot palette, which is more lavender lilac-y tones. I actually don't think this palette has a big chunky glitter in it, which is great. I think those are just standard metallic eyeshadows in there, which, like, good job, Colourpop. Don't color stop not putting the chunky glitters in your palettes. I think this is pretty, but I almost feel like it doesn't really go lavender enough. Colourpop actually has a really phenomenal lilac purple super shock shadow called Daddy. Do I still have Daddy? I think I might still have Daddy.
Daddy!
Absolutely gorgeous. But obviously the super shock formula is very different from the pressed powder shadows. I would have liked a little bit more light purple from this. I feel like the dark purple's in there and then the shimmers distract what could have been a really unique light matte purple palette. Oh my God, that wasn't even the last Colourpop release. Jesus! The Whatever palette, burgundy. If you really want a burgundy moment and you want it from Colourpop, the Whatever palette's not that bad of a choice. Also, it's very similar and reminiscent to the She palette that's been out for like 2 years. But I think I have to stop. Thank you for watching this video. Before you leave, I'm gonna need you to do a quick favor for me. If you could go ahead and have an amazing day for me, that would be productive. And if you would like to interact with me betwixt uploads, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at NisiPisa. I also have a second channel called Extra NisiPisa that I will link in the description where I post music and covers. Thanks again for watching my video, and don't forget to use code NisiPisa for 10% off at checkout at your local crop top that you made out of a really unflattering Forever 21 dress store. Bye! Don't buy this. This looked bad. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. No, bitch, we're being mean. Get angry. Grr, rar.